Well, wouldn't you know, this is the perfect time of year to grow rocks. Welcome to mid-January. It's January 11th of 2016, and this is Pittsburgh. I am going to attempt to make my videos less shaky. I am actually not a very good videographer. I apologize. So we're going to try and move slower. Maybe only do parts of the garden at a time. I get going and I really want to show you everything. Here, I've moved a lot of the leaf litter, which I had neglected in the front yard. This is greatly improved, trust me. And I took all of the leaf litter over here. Now, you're probably wondering if you haven't seen the videos before. I use dark colored sheet mulch in order to kill off weeds when they get out of hand, and this is a section where they've for sure gotten out of hand. Because I use tires as raised bed planters, there are tire slabs that I have been using to just weight down the tarps. Up there you see the red bit, that's an old mattress. That is additionally being used to kill off some overgrown sections. I have some pretty big ideas for this garden this year, but it's a lot to think through, so let's take a look just at what we've been doing as far as mulching paths. I'm going to have to keep a close eye on this, but I had noticed that walking through and getting all muddy wasn't a super fun thing. And with all of the studying in permaculture I've been doing recently, I've learned that deepening the area where you're going to walk is really good fertility for the soil. And leaf mold is a form of mycelium which will add to the quality of every plant within 116 feet of it. So, hey, let's do this. I do still have need to cut the edges off of some of these tires. This was done in haste in late fall, as I had left it long enough to fully kill off almost everything under here. The black currant didn't die, just, you know, a word to the wise. The black currant is a really vigorous and resilient plant. So, hey, you know, I mean, if that's what you need, great. It forms thickets, which is kind of fun. But I'm actually thinking about moving a lot of it down to retain the cliffside. That's my intention. Because it's definitely bigger than I can handle, and I would really like to put... I was looking, I found dwarf peach trees quite affordably, and ones that ripen in July, which is a slower time in the harvest onslaught for me, so that might actually be perfect. So I was looking at maybe putting a peach tree in the full sun area where the black currants currently are, and moving many of them down onto the front face of this almost cliff-like slope that may be able to be added to my my food forest ideas here. So this deep leaf litter is lined with a low-growing yellow sedum. It's an older type that came with the house. I've recently learned that most sedums are edible, so I would like to confirm that my type is. I think it's fantastic. I've been reminded in going through cataloging my yard that I don't really have anything that isn't edible. Even the stuff that I thought wasn't edible is still totally edible. I'm quite surprised. So this is cool. This is very cool. These tires each contain at least one strawberry. Some of them have kept green, others have gone fully dormant, others have heaved out of the snow and need placed back down in. I'm actually seeing that of this one here. You see how it's just heaved. So we're gonna move some dirt keeping the leaf crown, which you can see where it is because of that one leaf, but there are also characteristic indentations of where the leaves have fallen off. That is actually true of a few more. If I wish for my strawberries to live through the very cold winter, I think I need to unheave them. The freeze-thaw cycle is likely what's done this. Here, see, this one was also up like this, so I've moved some dirt aside. And I'm covering it over. You can see that the leaf crown is still exposed, which keeps it from rotting in the soil, such as we might expect it to do. Many of my violets had heaved as well. I didn't notice those until today either. Some of the weather recently has been as cold as -4 Fahrenheit, making this a relatively expected outcome, that some plants will heave out of the ground with the freeze thaw. So let's go up and take a look at this cliff that I'm dreaming about. Here's a nice overview of Pittsburgh. And here is the edge of a cliff. I'm going to see if I can... I don't know if you can see any better with my outstretched arm or not. This hillside is where I'm thinking I may be able to back dig some stairs down. You know how you can dig back into the earth and jam a rock in? I've done that to make stairs on the slope on the other side. This is quite a bit steeper. My understanding is that from here to the neighbors at the bottom is about 150 to 170 feet. I looked at Google and found that my walk from the bus stop, which is about 30 or 40 feet lower elevation than the neighbor's yard down there, up to my house is 220 feet. So, and that's in about 5.5, 4 or 5 blocks, something like that. So this is quite the drop-off, but at no point does it get so steep that you're going to actually fall off of the hill. Though the ground is so loose that it is perilous to expect to be able to get back up without a rope. So this is a thought process that I'm having and not necessarily a final decision. I'm considering all of this as a possibility of perhaps moving some of my currants into the front edge of this. I also feel that hazelnuts farther down might be good. And if I'm going to get pygmy Siberian pea shrubs anyway, that might be a good thing to add to this hillside as well. As they're nitrogen fixing and wind and cold tolerant and don't get too tall. The idea is to avoid things like this tree, which is blocking my view in the summertime, and to keep things low growing, while still perhaps having the option of getting down there and harvesting should I feel like it, and just letting the food drop should I not feel like it. That's the idea with the hillside. Also, though it's the middle of January, it would be nice to show you that this, which I consider a serious weed due to the effect that it spreads so easily, is in fact a very nice salad green. It has a slight bitter aftertaste and starts off sweet and goes a bit bitter. It's a very nice salad green that would have a lot of nutritional value to it. You'd of course have to cut the roots off and get the dirt all washed out, and the leaves are of course very small. And what is this called? This is called winter cress. And if indeed I was hungry, this would be a very good source for sustenance through even a very difficult winter. Because as you can see, 3 or 4 days ago, it was 4 degrees. And these are still green and healthy as can be. There's no die-off in the margins. Nothing like that. So these are quite tasty, and that, along with perhaps grilling up some sow thistle, which I'm going to start letting grow. I gave it a taste test, and oh my goodness, is that delicious. I don't know if I can describe the taste, but I'm starting to let them grow more readily on my property because, wow, that was yummy. Here's a sow thistle seedling native to our area. Okay, so in addition to that information, I think that's a good place to stop, actually. If you're interested in my zebra grass, I think I will be digging it out soon. That comes up striped and is about, I would say, 6 foot tall. The clumps are healthy. I think I'd just rather put some sort of food-bearing tree in there instead, along with the elderberry and rose that I have going here. That's the tumbling red rose that is still green, even in the middle of January. And mind you, by the end of February, that's when the crocuses start coming up. So the Pittsburgh winter, while severe and widely vacillating between temperatures, is not, in fact, that long. I hope that you have a very enjoyable winter, that you have some nice hobbies to keep you busy. I'm a cross-country skier myself. And that you're planning for spring for your garden. Happy Wednesday!